Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Delaney, and for today's video I am going to be doing something as asked for in a different video. I am going to be going over my single shadows from Give Me Glow Cosmetics. So I have them in these two Z palettes here. I went ahead and took the Clionadh ones out just so I could focus on the Give Me Glow shadows. But yeah, we're going to go over each of the shades in here and I'm going to swatch these for you and go over how I like the formulas and pretty much just give a rundown of each one. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, then keep on watching. If you did watch my palette video before, I believe I already talked about these a little bit, but these are my Give Me Glow shadows, and I had these 10 from my boyfriend for my birthday present. He actually picked out all these colors for me and I love them. They're very beautiful and they have kind of sentimental value to me as well. And then these I picked out from the website. I paid my own money for them. I love them all. They're so good. So overview on the formula so far, I have not been able to use these a ton, especially these ones because they came after this one and I've been testing out new eyeshadow palettes recently, but I love the formula of this. Very buildable, very pigmented. I really do love how soft they feel. And you'll see when I swatch them when I talk about when I say soft, but they are so beautiful on the eyes, especially these three shades, which I will definitely get into later. You will see that. But overall, I really like the formula. It is not my all-time favorite formula for the mattes. I do like them and I can get a beautiful look out of them, and I actually do really enjoy them. But if I was going to be talking about my all-time favorite formula, I'm not sure that the mattes would really compare. But the shimmers in here are phenomenal. Like these, if I'm reaching for a shimmer and I don't have a shimmer that's to my liking in a palette, sometimes I'll just even reach in here anyway, but I will reach for these shimmers all the time, even if I'm not using the mattes from this palette. If I want to pair it with a different palette, especially if I have an all matte palette, I will go ahead and grab some of these neutral shimmers because they are absolutely stunning. So let's get into swatches. I think I'm going to do the colorful one first. I know that seems a little bit backwards, but I feel like these are probably going to be the most loved out of the group. So I'm going to do the colorful ones first and then the neutrals. So we have 10 different shadows here. They are all magnetic pans, and of course this is a Z palette. This is a magnetic palette, and it does not come with the palette when you buy it from the website, although they do have some magnetic palettes available on their website. But this one is just, I think this one I got for free from a friend. She had an extra Z palette laying around, and then the other Z palette I bought from Ulta. So if you want one from the website, you absolutely can do that, but a bunch of other brands sell Z palettes, so kind of shop around, see where the best deals are. But I do highly recommend getting a magnetic palette like this to hold these because, I don't know, single shadows I feel like could get really messy if you don't have somewhere to put them. This just keeps them nice and organized, and I really do enjoy that. So let's go ahead and move on to these shades. So in this 10 bundle that my boyfriend picked out, I have 3 mattes and the rest are shimmers. And obviously I did not pick these out myself, so if I were to be picking colors from this kind of color scheme myself, I think I would have done like equal parts mattes to shimmers. But again, it was a gift. I love it. I really do love these shades, and I love that he picked them out for me. So I'm gonna go over, let's do the shimmers last. So let's talk about the mattes in here. So this navy is such a beautiful, deep pigmented navy blue. It's very cool toned and grungy. I think I'm gonna swatch them on my hand just because swatching them on my arm might not do it completely justice. But look how deep and rich that pigmentation is. I did kind of swipe back and forth a little bit, but this is how buildable it is. I mean, that's pretty pigmented if you ask me. I love that. It builds up beautifully. It feels really soft, and look how much pigment is still left on my finger. I mean, it's a beautiful shade. I love blues, and especially a deep blue. If I need a deep color like that to deepen up and intensify a look, and this is a gorgeous option. And even if I'm working with a different palette that has blues, sometimes I'll come in here and grab this one to add for depth. I really do enjoy this shade. This one is called High by the Beach, and this is one of their matte pressed pigments. Each shade that comes from them comes with the sticker on the back so that when you put it in the palette, you still know what the name of the shadow is, because otherwise it could get very confusing. Okay, so next up we have this olivey kind of green, and I believe this is similar to a shade that's in their olive palette, or their juicy olive palette. I don't know for sure. I'll have to look up if it's the same name as this, but a very similar color to the one that's in that palette. Again, these are super, super pigmented and rich. And I mean, look at that. That just swipes on beautifully. A little bit better than the navy, but the darker colors are a tad bit harder to formulate, I believe, but it's just, both of them perform beautifully on the eyes. This one is just really intense and beautiful and buildable as well. So I really like it. Again, like I said in the beginning, the matte formula is not my all-time favorite out of all the mattes that I've ever used, but they are super pigmented and blendable and beautiful. And what more could you really ask for? So this is shade Savage, another one of their matte pressed pigments. And then let's do this light color here. It's kind of like a minty sea foam kind of shade. Super beautiful and bright. Very, very, very intensely pigmented. Look at that. No patchiness here. We love it. This formula, there's really no patchiness at all. If you can see though, they are a bit crumbly is a weird word, but do you see how it got flakes of the light blue over here? You kind of have to blow it off. There's a lot of kick up with these shades. They are super pigmented, and that's kind of the trade-off I've seen. The more pigmented the shadow is, usually the shadow's a little bit more on the dry side, but they do feel really nice and smooth and soft, but the formula is a little bit harder pressed for those mattes. So just keep that in mind. All right, this minty shade is called Mojito, which is very, very well named. It does kind of look like a mojito, that mint color. Obviously, these are very pigmented. They've kind of stayed behind on my fingers a little bit, but it's fine. These colors are all in that blue family, so it's okay to swatch them a little bit with the staining on my fingers. So let's start off with the silver shade. It's a little bit different. This one has this interesting texture where it's almost dry, and you kind of, when you're swiping around, it does that crumbly thing a little bit, but it looks so metallic and beautiful. Look at this. This is so intense silver. It's like chrome on your hand, and it has little micro flakes of glitter in here, which just really reflect beautifully. It really looks like someone just took chrome and put it on my hand. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I really do love having this as an option. Look at my finger. That is all stuck on my finger. Like the pigment, just pigment for days. This, I look like a Tin Man, but in the best possible way. Such a gorgeous, glittery metallic. This silver shade is called Satellite. This is one of their foiled pressed pigments. Very well named. This definitely is metallic and beautiful. This is like if the Tin Man was glam. I don't know why, but it's just, it catches the light so beautifully. This fine glitter all over the lid. So, so pretty. I love this especially for glam cool toned looks. Like the bronzes and the rose gold are really good warm tone neutrals. This is a nice cool toned neutral. All right, so next up we have this deep royal blue. This is in, it's kind of, I don't know, it has micro glitter in there and it is foiled, but it's not as hyper glittery as those metallic shades are. This has almost like a purple undertone to it. It's kind of a little bit of a flip. I don't know if it's picking up on camera or not, but it's a deep, intense royal blue. This is in the shade Blue Moon, one of their foiled ones. And it's just, it's a little bit on the drier side formula wise, but pigment is there. See what I mean when it's almost a satin shade? It's not one of those hyper glittery formulas. It almost looks like a satin, but it does have a little bit of glittery reflect in there. Very intense, very beautiful. Pairs beautifully with that navy as well. And next up we have Under the Sea, which is also one of their foiled pigments. And this one is more of a warm toned, brighter ocean blue, like a deep ocean blue. And it's also got that kind of dryish formula, but it has a little bit of kind of goldish green flecks in there. And that kind of gives it some brightness. This one is a little bit more glittery than the other one. As you can see, it has a little bit more of a pop to it. I love this shade so much on the lid. It just, if you love blue eyeshadow, this is so rich and creamy and beautiful. It does feel a little bit dry like in the pan, but on the lid, I mean, one swipe and you've got some beautiful pigment there. It's so pretty. I just really hope that it's coming off on camera how it is in person. Super glittery and gorgeous. It looks like you're just looking at the ocean and the sunlight's kind of reflecting off of it. That's what it reminds me of. I love it so much. I also just really love blue eyeshadow. So, yay. Okay, moving on. These shades, upon first glance, kind of look similar, right? Like, especially these two. They are all different. We'll get there. So we're gonna start with this one on the end. So this one is called Deep Waters. Again, I love the name. This is more of a greenish, like teal flip. It's got a greenish gold to a light teal blue kind of flip. It's a little bit of a duochrome. This one feels more like the silver as opposed to the one that's satin like this one. It has that glitter reflect in there. I will say these shadows are very fragile, so just be very careful with them. A couple of them had little cracks in them when I received them. I've pressed them back together. They work beautifully still, but just please be careful. Take care of them because they will crack. But look at that. If you want a light greeny teal, but with a little bit of almost a gold shift, this is your shade right here. Very mermaid-like, very just tropical waters kind of shade. Like, I really do love that. But see how it's getting everywhere. These shadows do kind of make a mess. It's really hard to keep your hands clean with these shadows. So there may be a little bit of fallout. Definitely either bake and then, wipe it off after, or do your eyes first. That's how you can get around that. But the pigment is there, so I can't really fault them for that. We have this one, which I'm going to try to be very careful with because it's very fragile. This one was one of the ones that did break on me and I had to repress. So this is the shade Jade, which is a perfect name. This is a foiled pressed pigment and it looks just like jade stone. It's that beautiful light, like frosty green color. Ugh. I love this shade all over the lid. With my green eyes, it really makes them pop. This, when you touch it, it feels much softer than the other ones. It's much more soft pressed, and it definitely has a high intensity of glitter on the inside, so just be very careful. But, so look how soft it is. So it kind of has that crumbly outside, but it just swipes on beautifully. So here is why I wanted to swatch them all close together, because you definitely see the differences in the shade. Now, if you're going to be buying single shadows from them, do you need all of the blues? If you're not obsessed with blue eyeshadow, maybe not. But this is the difference between the shades, and this one goes beautifully with that Mojito. So does this one, but it's a little bit on the cooler blue side. This one's more on the green side, kind of goes with that Mojito shade. Still beautiful. I actually, this is probably my favorite shimmer from the group, except for one more that I will show. The silver, this one, and this one are probably my favorite shimmers. But, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. It's this light, foamy, seafoam green, minty shade. It's like if you had mint ice cream. That's exactly what I see when I see this shade. High intensity glitter. See how this one is just not the same as the others? Like, one of these things is not like the other. That's this one. So I don't know if I would recommend this one, but I would probably recommend this one over that. So this was Blue Moon is that kind of satiny shade, and then Deep Waters is this one. So just keep that in mind, but I love them all. All right, so next up we have 2 more shimmers in this palette. So this one is called Pool Party, and it's another one of their foiled ones. This one's a little bit on the dry side, but it's still one of those beautiful glittery ones. And it's definitely a little bit of a deeper teal. Very, very similar to this one here, but just a shade darker. And it has that same kind of silvery reflect in it. This one kind of has like a silvery gold. This one has a more gold in it. This one's more silver, and it's a tad darker, but still so, so pretty. This one I see more of like, I don't know, like a seaweed green, and this one's more of like a teal green. This one's a little bit more, I don't know, it's just a shade darker than this with silver reflect instead of gold. That's how I see it. It's still a gorgeous shade. Again, do you need all 3 of these teal shimmer shades? Maybe not, just depending on what colors you wear. But will you be disappointed? I don't really think so. Look at that shine. They are just so intensely beautiful on the eyes. So that was the Pool Party one. And now lastly, we have this shimmer in here, which is probably the most different of this group. And this is a duochrome. So we have this bright, like goldish orange to a nice light green, kind of like a yellowy green, not a bluey green. This is just such a unique, beautiful shade in my collection. I don't think I have anything in a palette that's like this. It has such a beautiful flip to it. On the lid, it just looks so intense and metallic. I mean, really? Like, come on. See that flip in there? You really see it when I start moving my hand. This is like, I don't know, if grass shines in the sunlight, that's pretty much what this looks like. It's so gorgeous. It still has that glitter intensity that the other shades have, but it also has that little bit of a duochrome in there, and it just really pops on the lid. So I think altogether these shades work beautifully, and I'm so happy that I have these in my collection. Oop. Is shade Electric Mint, which is so perfectly named. Again, definitely if you imagine like grass that's electrified or on fire or in the sun, that's what this looks like in the most beautiful glittery way. Look at these swatches and tell me that these are not one of the most beautiful shimmer shades you've ever seen in your life. I mean, come on, I'll wait. They're just, they're so pretty. Like, you can see the mattes are very pigmented, but the shimmers are definitely the star of the show. But I will say that my boyfriend did a great job of curating some colors. So I'm very proud of him. I use these quite a bit. I just, not so much the royal shades, but the other ones I use quite a bit. I love these shades together. I think they actually make a beautiful bluish green palette. That's the blue-green palette that I have with my Gimme Glow Cosmetics shadows. And now let's move on to the neutrals. So here we are. We have our neutral shades in here, and obviously you can see in the bottom corner there are some that are more sparkly than others. We will get there, I promise. So here are my neutral-ish shades. So I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mattes and 6 different shimmer shades. Of course, this one's a repeat, so I'm not really counting that one as a different shade. But so when I was picking out these colors on their website, I wanted to imagine what my perfect neutral palette would be. Something I could reach for every day and a good mix of shades that I could try out from the brand. Now, I definitely knew I wanted a few of the like heavily glittery foiled pigments, and I wanted some regular shimmers and then some mattes. I think this is a beautiful mix. I have basically one matte, like this matte pink would go with this pink shimmer, this light purple would go with this purple shimmer, and then this would go with the light gold shimmer, and then you have the really intense ones, and then other shades to deepen up and mix and match a little bit. That was my mindset when I was making this palette, and I think it worked out really, really well because I can get a whole bunch of different looks from this palette. So let's go over the colorful-ish side, and then we'll go to the neutrals. So starting off with this one. So this is shade Rosemary. This is one of the matte shades, and it's kind of this like rosy red shade, and it's a beautiful, beautiful color. It is one of their dry matte shades, but super pigmented, as you can tell. A little bit of kick up in the pan, but that's kind of how it is with these mattes. They're just really, really pigmented. But again, you will get fallout with this shade, so please be careful, or do your eyes first, or bake so that you can wipe away the fallout. But it's intensely pigmented, beautiful shade, comes off exactly how it is in the pan, which I actually really do enjoy about their mattes. So you know what you're getting. But yeah, this is a gorgeous rosy shade that I love to pair with the light pink. Next up, we'll do the light pink shade. Wah! This is shade Nude Rose. I believe these two shades may be similar to ones that are in the Vintage Rose palette. I'm not quite sure about that. Some of these singles are in pre-made palettes for Give Me Glow, so you definitely want to check that out before you buy a bunch of singles, because if you're buying all the shades singly that are in a palette, then it's cheaper to do the palette. But this is their matte shade in Nude Rose. This one's a little bit softer, still a little bit of kick up though, if you can tell. But here it is on the finger, and then it is just pigmented right off the bat, but it is a beautiful kind of rosy peach shade. Really beautiful on the light side. It's actually a more cool toned version though. It's not like that warm rosy, it's more of a cool toned rosy shade. So is the red actually. They're both leaning a little bit more on the cool side, but that's what I like about it. I love cool toned neutrals and cool toned colors. So sometimes I like to pair this pink with this red if I want to go for like a deep rose color, or sometimes I'll even pair it with this deeper purpley berry color. And sometimes I'll mix these three, sometimes I'll mix these three. It's just kind of whatever I feel. Now this one is in shade Salem, which is beautiful. It's a matte pressed pigment, and it's this deep, rich purple. The glitter on top was from the other glitter shades. It is a matte shade, and it is just, it's so richly pigmented. This color is just stunning. I love to deepen up any look that's leaning on the purple or berry side with this shade. It's almost a brown, but it's got that deep, deep, deep plum tone to it. Definitely on the cool side. Just, I mean, come on. Usually these kinds of shades are really patchy in other palettes that I've had from other companies. This is just one swipe coverage with these pigments. That's another thing I wanted to say. Since this is an indie brand, usually I've had really good luck with indie brand shadows. I feel like you get more pigment for your money with an indie brand. I think it's important to show some indie brands some love. I love the innovation that they usually bring. The formulas for indie brands usually are just jam-packed with pigment or foil or glitter or something, and they're really unique. And Give Me Glow is definitely like that. So that was Salem, and then this one is a light kind of, I don't know, it's like a cool toned lavender with some gray in there. It's a very unique shade. It goes beautifully with Salem. This is Trust Fund. I don't know, like it's just, it kind of goes with my nails a little bit, but it's a little bit more on the purple side, not as much on the pink side. But again, it's just, I mean, when do you see purples that go on that smooth? It's very rare to find a purple like that. And it's just, it comes off exactly like it is on the pan. And that I love so, so much. So these are the mattes on the colorful side. And then let me show you the shimmers. So this is the shade Princess Pink, and it is just highly glittered and beautiful. It has some, it's like a light pink with bright silver metallic reflect in there. When I move this around, you can really see all the glitter that's in there. It's really soft to the touch. Definitely has got a bit of a crumble to it though, so be careful. It does have fallout, but look at how absolutely stunning this shade is. If I could wear a shade every day on the lid, this would be a contender. Just wow. Like I said, their mattes are good, but their shimmer shades are next level amazing. Just look at that, how it shines. That glitter, the amount of glitter that's in this is just crazy. It has a beautiful flip to it. I love when shimmer shades have that. I just think it gives it so much dimension to it. And these little micro glitter flakes in here, they just really catch on the eye beautifully. And they're so small that I've never had any issue with glitter getting into my eye and bothering me. So these are just gorgeous if you are a lover of anything sparkly. And again, pigment for days. You need a very light hand with these shimmer shades. They just, a little goes a super long way. So that was Princess Pink. And then this one is more of, it's still a glittery shade, but it's a little bit less intense as the other one. This is Hex My Ex. I got this to go specifically with these purples because I just love this cool toned grungy purple. I didn't really have anything like that in my collection, and I thought this was just so unique and beautiful. I can see myself using this around Halloween time. It's just, ugh. Look at that. It's so smooth, so metallic. Again, it has a beautiful flip to it, but as you can see, this one's just really bright and reflective and sparkly. This one's more of a metallic, but it still does have a little bit of that glitter reflect in there. Both are beautiful, and these colors together, I mean, come on. That's why I paired these colors together. I thought that I could mix them all together, or I could do a pink look or a purple look, or vice versa. So I thought they were very versatile and beautiful, and I'm just so happy with these. They just are so beautiful on the eyes. All right, so I have a clean hand. There was a tiny, tiny touch of staining on my hand, so just as a heads up, these are pressed pigments, so they will potentially stain your eyelids, just depending on the shade. But let's move on to the neutrals. So I have 3 mattes and 4 shimmers that I want to talk about on the neutral side, and that'll be all my singles. So let's start off with the mattes. These are so soft, so if you have long nails, you gotta be careful. I've actually like almost destroyed one before, so yeah, be very careful. So this is the shade Mushroom, and I love that name. It really does look like a mushroomy shade. It's a very light, cool toned neutral brown. Very beautiful, just such a good everyday brown shade, especially for you fair gals like me. If you have a fair skin tone, this in the crease is all you need. Like, you could do that and just leave the look alone. Just look at how beautiful that shade is. It's so, like, I don't know, this is a beautiful kind of contoury kind of shade. Like, I would use this kind of a shade to contour my cheeks with. Obviously, it would be really good to contour your eyelids as well. So that's kind of what I use it for, or to blend out the deeper ones. But this on its own is already a look. Love this shade so, so much. I love how cool and grungy it is as well. Very unique in my collection. Like, obviously I have neutrals, okay? But these neutral shades have such a unique tone to them that I thought they were a really good addition to my collection. And now this is like a mid-toned brown. So this is a mid-tone kind of brown, but it's still neutral and grungy. This is called That's So Taupe. Really cute name. Another matte shade. Super soft, just like the others. This one has a little bit less kick up than the others, but still a little bit there. I mean, I think the swatches kind of speak for themselves. That pigment though, just so stunning. Love the color. I can use this one in the crease and then this one to deepen up for a nice light neutral look, and then this shimmer on the lid. Or if I want to intensify it, I can put this one in the outer V, or use this as an eyeliner as well. I've done that before. So, so pretty. This one is a very unique, this one is not black and it's not gray either. It's like if you took this brown and you just added black to it, but it wasn't fully black. It's like a blackish, grayish, grungy brown. It's a very, very unique color. It's called Space Dust, which, I don't know, I guess I could see that. It's like someone took space, like the deep, intense black, and just added dirt to it. But in the best, most beautiful way possible. So really when it's swatched, it almost looks kind of gray, but you can definitely kind of tell that there's a neutral, grungy brown hidden in there somewhere. Very unique, and it pairs beautifully with these shades as well. Definitely on the skin, it looks a little bit more gray, but it's just, oh, wow. Every time I swatch these, I forget how buttery they are and just how pigmented they are in one swatch. Like, That's very rare. There's a few, I have a few favorite matte formulas, and ironically, those don't always swatch amazingly on the first round. I don't know, but these are just gorgeous in one swipe. So as for the shimmer shades, kind of similar to the Hex My Ex, where it was really glittery, but not quite as glittery as the Princess Pink one, but you can definitely see the flecks of glitter in there. Nice reflect. This is called On Ice. Definitely a cream champagne-y kind of shade, but with lots and lots of bright silver reflex in here. A little bit, again, on the crumbly side, but super beautiful. All right, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. So yeah, it's this beautiful champagne-y gold, and it just, it takes my breath away. It's just gorgeous. I like how subtle it is. Well, it's not even subtle. It's subtle for me, okay? This is a beautiful sparkly shade for a lot of people, but when you see these swatched, you're gonna say, oh yeah, this one is subtle comparatively, but oh my God, the pigment is gorgeous. The color is beautiful. It really complements almost every skin tone. I feel like every skin tone could get away with something like this. That's why everything's made in a champagne color, because it's very universally flattering, but you just need these. If you love neutrals, look how beautiful these are. All right, and last but not least, we have the 3 stars of the show. If I'm gonna be reaching in to these palettes, it's probably 99% of the time gonna be for these 3 shadows right here in the bottom corner. So we have Roses Remix, Electric Unicorn, and Glamorous. So I'm gonna swatch these for you, but just wait till you see how absolutely gorgeous these look. So automatically when I pick it up, the camera almost can't even function. It's like, I don't know, imagine the most intense glitter possible, and just imagine that on your eyes without any glitter glue, mind you. I do like to use glitter glue with these because there is some fallout, but you could wear this without glitter glue. I mean, if you're really bold, you could. But it's not a chunky glitter either. It's just super fine and super reflective. Every time I wear these, I get compliments. Like one time I was wearing this all over the lid. I had a random couple come up to me and tell me that my eyes were enchanting. I was just eating dinner with my friends, and all of a sudden they come up to me and tell me my eyes were enchanting. So I don't know. I feel like that should just tell you right there. If it really emboldens a stranger to come up to you and say that, then it must be beautiful, right? So this is the shade Glamorous. And this is one of their foiled pressed pigments, but it is more expensive than the normal shimmers, I believe, because of this pigment that's in here. It's just wait, it's unique. And the texture is really unique too. All you need to do is lightly tap your finger in here and look what got on my finger. I mean, it's liquid gold on my finger. So are you ready for the swatch? Dun, dun, dun. That was just lightly pressing, and the pigment just kind of lasts forever. I feel like when you just barely tap into the pan, so much comes off. I just want to cover my whole entire body in this. Just, the camera's having trouble picking up exactly how gorgeous this is, especially in low light. For some reason, low lighting just catches every single sparkle. It looks like you're wearing diamonds on your face. It's just intense and metallic and just, I don't have any shades in my collection that rival this, okay? I have shimmer shades that I love, but they don't look like this. They're still beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I still really love them, but they do not have this wet diamond kind of look to them. These are probably one of the most unique formulas in my collection. And I have a lot of eyeshadow. I talk about eyeshadow a lot on my channel. These are absolutely incredible. If they make other colors in the same formula, I'm grabbing them. 100%, no questions asked. These are just absolutely stunning. I don't even know how to speak. I'm just looking at my hand. But you think that's beautiful? Just wait. So you love the gold and how beautiful it is? Well, let's talk about this one. So if I can get it out, hopefully. And it is a little bit flaky. You can see the the dustiness a little bit. It's because this is so finely milled. Occasionally, the fallout will get everywhere. These are messy. I'm not saying they're not, but they're just intensely beautiful, and I don't care if they're messy. So this is Electric Unicorn. This is the single most unique shade in my entire collection. It has so many different dimensions to it. So it goes blue and purple pink to gold to bright orangey fuchsia, back to blue to gold. It's just everywhere you turn it. So you can get a little bit of green in there. I don't even know. And there's your deep purple and pink. It is this multi-chrome shade that has so much glitter in it, I want to cry. If the stone opal was a shade, this would be it. Not even diamond. Diamonds are beautiful, but they shine in this beautiful, bright, white kind of thing, but with a little bit of rainbow when it catches the light. But opal, every time you look at a shade, every time you look at the stone, it has all of the colors at once. And that is kind of like what this shadow is. Just look everywhere you turn, like this is a bright gold to me. On camera, it shows up as pink. And you turn it and turn it and turn it, you get that bluish green color. It's just so unique and gorgeous. So I'm just gonna press in it once and look what's on my finger. Like very lightly pressing, and that's what's coming off. And we're gonna swatch it. You ready? Oh my God. So right now it looks gold, but that's just because of the way the light is at the moment. So because it's a multi-chrome, you can obviously see from my finger that it is just insane. Especially because my finger's curved, you can really see the shift really, really well. But when I turn my hand, see, now you get that bright, fiery green. And I'm gonna try to get the other colors. There's the blue and purple, pink and yellow. It's just so intense and gorgeous, and it still has that beautiful diamond-like glitter in it that is just so unique on the eyes. I don't even know how to explain how much I love these shades. It's just, I would repurchase these if I lost them. I would. Immediately. No questions asked. All right, and then here we go with the last, getting my nails stuck in everything. So here is the shade Roses Remix, and in all her glory, look at her. So this one is more similar to Glamorous. It's not a multi-chrome, but it is that intense glitter that just shines no matter where you turn it. Like even in the bright light, you can see those glitter flakes, but even in that low light, you just see so much movement in the shadow, which is just gorgeous. You only have to press really, really lightly with this. So another great thing about these shades is that they will last you forever. They're a big pan, and these shimmer shades, you need the smallest amount each time. So I foresee them going bad before I end up hitting pan, but just wait again. I mean metal, like copper metal. Really? Who is she? This? Come on. Have you ever seen a shadow so beautiful before? Please let me know. Even my Pat McGrath ones don't come close to this. In comfort on the eyes and longevity, these, and the way they look on the eyes, these are just the best. Like, I don't even know what else to say. These three shadows are how I would picture myself if I was a makeup product. Like, I love glitter so much. And these are just the embodiment of glitter. I would think I would be this one because it's the pinkish glitter. If my friends were to pick a product that was me, this would be me. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I can't even take my eyes off of it. And whenever I wear them, I get so many compliments for good reason. I mean, look at this shine. There are very few products out there that do this. I wish I could wear it all over. I wish that was socially acceptable. But look how the pigment just goes forever. That was just all from my finger. I had already swatched it. And then that's what was left over on my finger. I mean, it looks like my hand is metal. I'm just in love. I'm in awe. I'm in shock. These just, if you don't get anything from this video, please, if you've been wanting to try Gimme Glow Cosmetics, please try these. Roses Remix, Glamorous is the gold one. The pink one's Roses Remix, and Electric Unicorn. These are the most intensely beautiful pigmented foil shadows ever, and I'm in love. So yeah, please do check them out if you are interested. I think the swatches speak more for the beauty of this. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful in seeing the shade names and the swatches of everything. I love these shadows. I'm really happy to have them in my collection. Some, obviously, I love more than others. They all have a beautiful place in my collection, and I'm very happy to have them. Sorry you hear my dog barking in the background. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to stay happy, safe, and healthy out there in this crazy world. And if you'd like to watch more videos, feel free. If you have any suggestions of what you might want me to live swatch for you guys, I can also do the same thing with my Clionadh Cosmetics singles. I can also do the same thing with my ColourPop Super Shock shadows if that's something that interests you. But yeah, just let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, and that's all I got. So I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.